Our topic for the day, Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023, is influenza. Question for the day is, what influences do you catch a cold or flu? There's a catch to this question, so think about it closely. Look at the word influenza and influence. What do you think this all means, Basil? So glad you're here with us today. So we're going to show you proof that influenza is influence from the stars, and that the word virus is energies that are leaving you. You don't catch anything. We're going to show you that influenza means from the stars, and virus is a poisonous fluid, slimy liquid venom, and that's what the etymology means. If you look at the word influence, in Italian it's called influenza. It's the exact same word. Influence is influenza. You're being influenced by something. So Brazilian, Portuguese, same thing, influencia. Spanish, influencia. French, influence. And Romanian, influenza, however you pronounce that. So you can see that the word influenza and influence is the exact same thing. So where did we go wrong? Where did we get this thing? We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna show you the proof of where it all changed. So thank you to Chaya Clancy. She sent this etymology, which is so awesome. Sorry, from this gem of proof from the very well-respected PubMed, from the National Institute of Health, okay, an American agency. Acute viral infection of respiratory tract, from Latin influentia, to flow into, in medieval times, intangible fluid give off by stars. So this is in a very well-respected article on PubMed, telling you that everybody always said it's an influence from the stars. So the Italian influenza referred to any disease outbreak that thought might be influenced by the stars. There we go. In 1973, what Italians called influenza di catarro, epidemic of catarrh, spread across Europe, and this disease came down to be known in English as simply influenza. But they don't tell you any more of the story. Catarro in Italian means phlegm. So we're getting rid of, and I'll get to that in a minute. So the etymology of the word virus, they got it listed as a noun. It's not, it's a verb, it's a process. And here's what it says for the word virus. A poisonous substance. Virus, poisonous, sap of plants, slimy liquid, a potent juice. A venom, a poison. The Greeks called it ios, or poison. So if you look through, I'm not going to read that whole thing, but they're basically telling you it's a fluid. You're cleansing stuff out, not in. So again, we're going to show you influenced by the star. Catarro means phlegm, and it's a poisonous fluid, slimy liquid, and venom. Okay, so re-looking at what Chaya Clancy sent, because he said in 1743. This is going to be the basis of the rest of the presentation, showing you that, do you see this glyph that's on the Toronto EMS? Do you see this glyph right here? Do you see the Caduceus that they carry? Well, how is it that there is a luminary in the sky that has that exact same glyph, which is Hygeia, the goddess of cleanses? Well, how could that be? Cleanse. The glyph matches the EMS. The etymology says you got to look to the stars. Where are we going with this? So in 1743, oh, look at 1743. Look at Hygeia is aligned with the South Node. That's very powerful. That's a cleanse. And I'm going to show you some charts that have that cleanse.
What does EMS stand for?
Emergency Medical System.
Oh, I thought electromagnetic sine wave.
Same thing, right? So you can see that even on this, in 1743, Eris is aligned with Mars, huge energy, and then obviously Hygeia aligns with Pluto. And those will definitely make people cleanse. Definitely make people cleanse. Okay. So let's go to see if the stars are affected by the stars. And I'm not saying I'm a star, okay? That's why I put and me. So we will look at when they were under the influence of the stars and how they had influence. type symptoms. You'll be amazed to know that these two and I have the exact Taurus and or house 2 influence, which governs the neck, the throat, the gullet, the larynx, the cerebellum, and the bones of the neck. All right? So we won't get into much detail. Any astrologer watching this will understand what they are looking at. So let's start with Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus, she's had several occasions of, so I just started looking. If you want to go learn astrology, medical astrology, go see who has the severe cases and then go look, and then you can see the alignments, and then you can do several of them and you say, oh wow, this works. But you have to have the right settings to do that, and 90% of the people don't have the right settings. She's had strep throat in 2022, tonsillitis in 2019, and in 2009 she had strep throat. So I took the one in 2019, exact date and time. You can see that the North Node, we just talked about that, the North Node is in house number 2, which is Taurus, which is the throat, which is strep throat, which is tonsillitis, with Juno, and Juno gives off rashes, shingles, eruptions, and of course with strep throat, you get that. And she also has inner chart Venus square Hygeia. So there's Hygeia, there it is, she got strep throat. This is easy. Okay, we'll take her out of here. Let's bring in Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff. Oh, look at that. Moon in Taurus with Hygeia in Taurus, because the moon a day before went through Hygeia, she would have felt it, and then boom, it hits hard when it goes across and hits her natal moon, Saturn, and her wings. Because there's going to be reasons why she's cleansing. Because there's something in her being that needs cleansing. Something that needs love. All right, so that's what it's all about. So she too, this was on Instagram. She told everybody. That's how I find out what date she was on. So they're all cleansing from Hygeia. And I wanted to show you here, because this one here has the Juno. Signs of strep throat, rash. So if you get strep throat and you get a rash, you know Juno's involved. Painful sore mouth with sores, Juno's involved. I've done many shingles, Juno's involved. Done my own shingles, Juno's involved. The ancients were right. They were telling us the truth. But we're going to get into where we went wrong. So before I go there, so I'd already done for our astrology workshop, Miley Cyrus and what's the other one? Hilary Duff. Sorry, because I don't know them. I just kind of know their names. So I'd already done them, but then I started feeling a tickle in my throat. So I went and looked at my chart. Guess what? I knew I was getting that. But first, I thought it was going to go away because it was just a little sign from my moon and my moon. And then I seen, uh-oh, my moon's going to go by Hygeia. Look at that. There's a second house, which is Taurus, which is the throat. Aligned with the black moon means there's going to be a big sign. And the sign is exactly this one I'm giving you. That's what the black moon is. So the black moon is here in my chart, so I can tell you guys. And my natal black moon, as you can see, is aligned to North Node. That means I get signs, I give signs. So second house, Taurus, moon, and there's Hygeia. The one that's on the EMS, the glyph of the Caduceus. The stars influence our cleanse. There's no such thing as a virus. It's a process of taking non-loving vibrations out of your system, out of your waters. If somebody wants to read this, they can pause the video later. I just had some notes there. Now we have somebody who I'm going to rename not anonymous. They just had a dizzy spell today. And they said, oh boy, and they got a vision, I'm going to collapse. So they went back home. Look what's happening. Hygeia on their moon. Their moon is sitting there at the cusp of Eris and Taurus. And because Hygeia is in the first house, that's going to make them want to pass out. But what I see what's happening, look at his moon the moon is transiting Chiron as we speak. And his Chiron is aligned, his natal Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So he's got this to learn. So again, I'm trying not to bore you guys with these details, but it's for the astrologers out there. But just know what I'm showing you is proof that everything comes from the stars to cleanse us. All right, prophecy prediction. I know you guys have seen this before. I'm not going to get too much detail, but I got to remind you, we predicted these cleanses are coming our way. On May 15th, 2019, we predicted we're going to be going through a Corona chakra cleanse, which then cleanses your whole body, the whole earth, everyone. Because during a Phoenix rising, all the luminaries get brighter to cleanse us faster and everyone. It's a loving cleanse. And then we published the video back in December 2019. So again, we won't go into detail. We're just going to show these. The Italian plague of 1629, 1630, and 1631, the plague of Milan. You can see that Hygeia exactly aligned with Mother Mary. All right, that's the cleanse. That's the Caduceus. That's the EMS symbol that Toronto has, and all the doctors everywhere around the world, they know what that symbol is, but they don't understand it. That's all voodoo. That's all woo-woo, that stuff they knew before, but it's all there. It's all in writing. Okay, 1344. Look what's happening. Eris, Ceres, who is the harvester, and the sun meet with Pluto and Uranus. And that's the start of it. Because that's when we went through the whole plague. Through all the different years. From 1347 to 1351. That Black Death. Like I said, I won't get into this because we've already did a video on this if you want to go look for the proof of all the alignments. Just like what's happening now. And then in 1347, I just threw one more in where Pluto's at the 0 degree, at a cusp between Pisces and Aries. That's where Eris is now. All right, and if you want to know, Pluto doesn't go around very often, every 250 years. So when he hits that cusp, shit's going to come down because it's a cleansing vibration. If we're not loving, you're going to cleanse, Kimosabi. And if you don't understand it and you want to exit, that's up to you. But you're infinite. You get to come back. It's all beautiful.